Hello, everybody, and welcome to MGTOW Stories, episode number 2. Today's story, it's coming off of Reddit, and it's been posted by Mr. Stokeman. He titled the story, "What Made Me Go My Own Way." It's not a long story, but not a short one either. It's just something in the middle. So I'll share the story, give my analysis on it, and I'll let you guys go, alright? Sound like a plan? Alright, cool. Let's go ahead and get started reading it. Alright. Long post, worth the read though. A pile of users have been telling me to give this account, so here it goes. I was with my ex-fiance for 4.5 years. We owned a house together, we had for a year. We were looking for a church to set up the wedding. We even had the wedding dress for her. It was fair to say, I felt like I knew where my life was going. I wanted to be a dad. I wanted to start the next chapter of my life with the woman I adored and who was literally my best friend. Well, that's incorrect. I'm not going to say that my relationship was perfect. I don't think any true long-term relationship can be. We had our issues, but I always felt the love. I would have laid my life down for that woman without a second thought. Anyway, February was our 4-year anniversary. We had gotten the wedding dress the same week. 2 months later, I'm hanging out with my buddy Mark in my living room, just shooting the crap before I went to martial arts practice. I leave the house and head over to the park with excitement, only to find that no one showed up. I called and found out that practice was canceled. No worries, and I headed home. On the way, I was overcome by this feeling of nausea. It fundamentally shook me, and I knew that I was going to see something that I didn't want to see when I got back to my house. What strikes me about it is how the feeling came out of nowhere, but if there was truly no basis for it, it wouldn't have. That idea still bothers me from time to time, like I should have seen it coming, and maybe I did and just didn't want to. So, I don't park on my driveway. I park across the street, and I creep up to the front of the gate, being careful not to get in front of the windows. Silently, I open the gate, get over to the door, insert the key, and carefully turn the lock. My heart was pounding so freaking hard. I pushed the door open with a snap, and there they were, on my couch in my living room. Devastated. I was devastated. I couldn't move for a good 10 seconds. Once my sanity came back, I walked right past them without saying anything, and I went into my office. I sat there for a few minutes in silence. Once I got the nerve, I stood up from my desk and made my way to the living room. She was crying. He wouldn't even look at me. I told her to come into the office, and she did. In monotone, I said, "Did I just see what I think I saw?" After a long silence, she told me that I shouldn't have done that it was wrong of me to sneak up to the house like that. I stood up, packed my bag for the days, and walked to the door. She was sitting with Mark on the couch and asked me where I was going. I said, I didn't know. I remember this conversation with eerie vividness, like it was yesterday. I stopped in front of them and said, "I need you to understand how hard it is for me not to come at you right now. This is nuts. I can't believe the two of you would do this to me. I want to make you hurt as badly as I am right now. I'm not going to. And this isn't about me being macho or proving some point. This shatters me." Mark stopped me and said, "Stokes, you know I'm a pacifist. I wouldn't even fight you." Tears were really coming now. "It has nothing to do with that." And I left. It still hadn't hit me as I drove down to an empty parking lot, turned off the car, and bam, like a ton of bricks, I couldn't stop crying. The next few weeks were absolutely miserable. A few at this friend's house on that couch. Finally, I found a decent enough place to stay with some strangers that seemed alright. I smoked so much grass just to cope. Fast forward 2 years, and they really did me a favor. I had lost so much of who I was by supporting her. It took me so long. It took so long for me to respect myself again, to love myself again. I started focusing on my talents, on my hobbies, and my fitness. And I take it as a blessing. I went through hell, but came out so much stronger, so much more focused on my achievements. I'm not interested in supporting someone or being supported. I want to be the best version of myself that I can. And I have no time for dead weight. Alright guys, so now for my analysis. My analysis this time, it's not too long. Just a couple of points that I'd like to make. So, first of all, this guy, he was already dedicated to her, and he made that clear. He said that I was dedicated to her. I just knew that I had that feeling that this was going to work. I thought I knew that, things were going to work out fine. And that's the mentality that some guys develop. Remember, men, we're aware of the concept or the idea that guys, they're like, oh, I'm with a woman, I think it's going to be fine. It's going to be, happily ever after. No, not really. Most likely not. Seriously, it's not. Because a lot of guys are like, oh, this is going to end up perfectly. We're going to get married, have kids, and live in a castle. No, you're not. It's probably going to cheat on you or divorce you after you have your kids and turn your life upside down. That's what's probably going to happen. All right, but that's concept number. That's the bullet point number one, if you will. That he was already too attached to. Remember, men, even if you do date, I don't care if you do or you don't. I seriously don't care. But don't get too attached, and it can be damaging to you. Like it happened to this guy. Had to smoke lots of marijuana just to cope with the pain. So don't ever get too attached to somebody. It can be very deadly, considering how quote unquote loyal women are these days. Next, so let's go back to that scene where they were in the where they were in the office room in their house, the office, the study, whatever you want to call it. And she said, I'm not sure, I can't remember, was it in the office or whatever? Basically, she said, you shouldn't have snuck up on us like that or whatever. You shouldn't have snuck up to the house like that. Well, it's his house. He can enter his house however he wants to. If he wants to break a window and enter the house, he can. All right, it's his house. You can't tell him to do that or not to do that. I mean, well, I'm pretty sure they share the house, but still. You can't tell him, you can't do that. No, he can do that. All right? He can. You shouldn't have cheated on him in the first place with Mark. All right? You shouldn't have cheated on him. Just don't. All right? So those are just the two primary points that I wanted to cover in today's episode of MGTOW Story, guys. I wanted to make it short and simple and to the point. So remember, don't get too attached to women. Now, first of all, I prefer that you don't date at all. But if you do, don't get too attached. Don't get too attached. Okay, because the results can be devastating. All right, don't get too attached. And yeah, women can also cheat on you or this not. Don't get the mentality that they're perfect. This is another thing. Don't get the mentality, oh, she won't do that. She's perfect. Nah, this guy, he thought the same thing. And look what happened, Look what happened. So, guys, that concludes it for this edition of MGTOW Stories. Episode 3 should be out tomorrow at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But, of course, the upload time is going to vary, of course. Share your thoughts on the story in the comment section below. And if you want to follow me on Twitter, it's at MGTOW Academy. It's all caps, MGTOW Academy, MGTOW News. I'm sorry, it's all caps MGTOW, followed by Academy. The first day in Academy is capitalized. If you want to follow MGTOW News on Twitter, it's at all caps MGTOW News. If you want to contact me for anything, a collaboration, a topic request, just want to talk to me, it's fine. Just drop me an email at mgtowacademy.media@gmail.com. It'll be in the description box. I'm sorry that I couldn't get MGTOW News out this week. I uploaded a video showing you guys the problem that I experienced. So hopefully it won't happen again next week. By the way, guys, MGTOW Academy is approaching its 1 year anniversary. That's right. This Friday, the 15th, is the 1 year anniversary for the MGTOW Academy YouTube channel. I can't believe it's been that long, but it's been that long. Wow. Just wow. So, guys, I'd love to thank you all for watching. Once again, share your thoughts on this story in the comment section below. And be on the lookout for episode 3, which is coming out tomorrow. So, keep notifications on to be updated constantly. And I'll see you guys soon. And remember that it's a dangerous world out there. So, be sure to keep taking your daily doses of Rep Hills and to stay safe, everybody. This is MGTOW Academy signing off.